Aloha, this is Brad Bordessa with liveukulele.com. This morning I was working on updating my strumming page on the website, and I realized that I had never done a demonstration on the differences between straight and swing feels. A lot of people will end up playing one or the other throughout their entire ukulele career without really realizing that there is a difference and that there are two different sides of the coin. So let me play you both so you can hear how they go, and then I'll demonstrate and talk more about what they are and what they do. So here's a straight strum, just simple down and up. And then a swing strum. The difference is, with a straight strum, everything is even. Both sides of the strum tick-tock back and forth with the exact same duration on each side. So you can think of this as like following exactly the swing of the metronome or the pendulum of a clock. Your downward motion lasts the same amount of time as the upward motion. So the timing is exactly the same on both sides. Tick, 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 tick. It's sort of a stiff feel. Whereas you get to a swing strum, also known as chalangalang in most parts of the world, and it becomes a lot more loose. It's a more galloping, loping sort of a feel because one side of the strum takes longer to complete than the other. Because when you drop your hand down, the weight of the hand is helping you go down, but then when it's time to come up, you're like, oh, working to lift your hand back up, and then as soon as you can, you let it drop again. So the drop becomes the more prevalent sound in this strum, which is to say the down is longer and the up is shorter. Right? So it sounds like this. Long, short, long, short, long, short, long, short, long, short. That's the idea and the main difference between them. Straight is even, and swing, it's also sometimes called a shuffle, is lopsided. One side is longer than the other. If you're a music reading type, it might look like this. You might be familiar with the different looks. Please excuse my terrible notation skills. I do not write out enough music. But, up top is the straight feel, where the eighth notes, basically we're dividing by eighth notes in this case. The eighth notes are even, and with the swing, the first eighth is actually a dotted eighth, so it's longer into a 16th, which is shorter. Long, short, long, short, long, short, long, short, right? And when I say eighths, I'm talking about dividing a strumming pattern up by the downs and ups. So you can think of all the down strums as 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. But if you want to be able to count the ups that are happening in between, you add an and between the counts. So it becomes 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Right? So every time we have a 1 and, 2 and, 3 and, 4 and, that's a group of 2 eighth notes together. So you have 8 eighth notes in a bar or one rotation of a count, 1, 2, 3, 4. And the way those 2 eighth notes are related to each other is how you tell whether something is swing or straight. With a straight feel, the eighth notes are going to be exactly even. With a shuffle feel or a swing feel, one is going to be longer than the other, and you're going to jump back and forth. So one more time back to back. I'll do 1 bar of straight, 1 bar of swing, 1 bar of straight, 1 bar of swing. So it's going to sound like this. The reason you have these different feels is because some songs just have a swing feel, or some songs just have a straight feel. And if you try and shove all the songs you know through a swing feel type of strum, it might become generic or stiff or not very natural for the feel of the song, and vice versa. A lot of times I think like ukulele clubs, especially when you have a big group of people, everyone's so used to playing chalangalang that they just swing the whole time they're jamming. And, not every song is suited to a swing feel. Some like to be straight. So experiment with this and try and get a sense for why you'd use one in one place and another in the other. Until next time, aloha.